Hello traders, it's Yanis here from Nikos Trading Academy, and I would like to welcome you to another live room weekly results. I have chosen some pairs today, starting with gold. We saw at the beginning of the week that gold couldn't break our resistance. We saw our filters met here, and after a nice retracement we had our opportunity. Many of you took this trade. APO was more or less like 30-40 pips, and you can see price was powerful enough to reach our already identified support area from our top-down approach. Now this was 150 pips. Incremental profits for sure have been taken, and of course for those that follow our rules, you already had here a reaction and later on another powerful trendline break, the crossovers, the 1 to 3s, and if you have re-entered like many of you did, another 20-30 pips of an APO had given you. You can see how powerful this entry was. Easily met your win-win scenario 150, and of course later on all the way up probably stopped at this area. So if I zoom out a little bit, you would easily reach 230 pips if you trade your APO on M6, less maybe 200 pips with 30 pips of an APO. Almost with this trade only 7 times, and 3 times our APO on this movement. It was like 10 times, 10% if I may, only with gold. We will continue with USD CAD. On USD CAD we saw price breaking our range, finding and breaking our support area, but this was a false breakout. And on lower settings, when price got in, we already had in our watch list an early entry as an excuse, bounce long. Some of you took it here, some of you took it here. It doesn't matter. I will choose a conservative, like an APO of 25 pips, already 190, doesn't matter. 4 times win-win scenario. And of course remember that we have already identified major resistance area, and this is what we are targeting in. We respect what the price does, we look at the history, and we act accordingly. On GBP New Zealand dollar, price was very powerful, going short, and here on closely not that good of a touch here on our support area, price started to retrace. We had a higher settings trendline break, we had the crossovers, and for those who were a little bit early on the trade, you will see that we had a really nice M6 opportunity. You know the rules already. It was like 20, even 30 pips being large enough. You can see how powerful this was. Trade is 160 pips and still going. 5 times our APO, and you can see we are still going for this area, and that means we can, with 30 pips of an APO, go for 250, even further up, because price, when it's volatile, has the room to go even further up here. We know this is a range, and of course Monday morning when we will do our top-down approach, we will see and check how price reacted on this area. Now let's switch to euro. On euro, price found again our support area, was a little bit range. We said yes, we would like to go long due to the bounce here, and we said let's go a little bit more conservative after the breakout, waiting for the price to break all these tops, double tops, triple tops, however you want to call it. On lower settings, due to the breakout strategy we follow, we had some opportunities, and you can see, of course, at the beginning of the week we had also an opportunity. Lower settings entry on these 1 2 3s, if you were not already in, very closely to this point. And of course you can see that price has already reached the target, which is our major resistance area with 160 pips. Yeah, now some of you are already short here. Remember, we will check it again on Monday, but now 4 times our APO only on Euro Aussie. We also had Euro New Zealand dollar that was on a very powerful uptrend. I remember one of you for sure took it. We discussed this on our live room. You see here price was a little bit rangy and then started moving higher and higher. We had that in our watch list to go long with an APO of 50-60 pips, already 240 and still going. For your last position, always look at the bigger picture. We know that price can even reach higher settings, resistance area, so don't get out unless price gives you a reverse signal. Now with this pair only, we have already some positions running since last week on Aussie, on New Zealand dollar yen, and some positions within not having a win-win scenario within this week. Some pending orders. Everything is looking good, so the only thing missing now is patience. So 25% or 25 times, if you want, to our APO, 970 pips. Yes, we got stopped out a couple of times. It doesn't matter. Even if you give back 200, 300 pips, we live with 700 pips. It doesn't matter. You give back some, but then you get it twice as much. So it's part of the game. Remember, keep calm and follow the rules. Thank you very much for watching one more of our videos. Have a beautiful weekend and see you again Monday morning on our top-down approach. Bye bye everybody.